Welcome to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. And now your host, Tim Johnson.
Headquartered in central Louisiana, Crest Industries is one of our state's most important economic drivers. We'll visit with the CEO and owner, Kenny Robison, when we return on this edition of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Louisiana businesses, by partnering with your local community and technical college foundation, you're guaranteed a skilled, highly competent workforce, homegrown talent, trained specifically to meet your needs, whatever those needs are. Visit this website to learn more about how to partner with your local Louisiana Community and Technical College Foundation. To better prepare for tomorrow, become a partner today.
At Optimal, we understand what's at stake during your projects. That's why we value integrity, trust, and expertise. We retain proven and experienced craftsmen, and with multiple locations, we can execute hundreds of customized project solutions across the country, so you stay ahead of schedule and under budget. At Optimal, you come first, plain and simple. We have your back, and we always deliver. Experience the Optimal difference.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
For 8 seconds in the arena before an afternoon in the field. For a promise to students that honors success in the classroom. For championships earned on the bayou. For innovators committed to reclaiming our coastline. The universities of Louisiana. For your future. For our future.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Kenny Robison, he is CEO and owner of Crest Industries, as our guest. Buddy, welcome.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
First time on the show, and we're glad you're here. Good representation of a company headquartered in central Louisiana, but really doing business in a lot of different places. So let's start with the big picture overview, Kenny. Tell us about the founding and the history of Crest Industries and kind of what you guys do.
Sure. Well, Crest Industries is the premier builder of factory-built high-voltage substations. And a substation is, if you think about the interstate highway system, you've got interchanges. If you want to go from I-10 to I-49, there's an interchange. Well, a substation is analogous to an interchange, but instead of cars going through it, you've got electricity going through the substation on the way from the power plant to your house. So we're the premier builder of factory-built high-voltage substations in the world. We're also pioneering a new agile approach to designing and building the substations in the field that cuts schedules in half and reduces costs by as much as a third. So basically, we're reinventing how substations are built.
Yeah, I want to get into in some detail, what you do as we go along in the show today, but doing a little research on you guys, founded by your father
Right.
back in 1958. Talk a little bit about the history of the company.
Sure. Yeah, my dad grew up in LeCount, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Graduated in a class of 9 people. He was valedictorian with 9 people. We went to LSU, got his electrical engineering degree there, did a stint in the military, came back and worked, and then started Mid-State Supply in 1958 out of the trunk of his car. By 1990, when I came back to join the company, he built it up to about $30 million in revenue. We've grown it. He and I got to work together for about 25 years before we lost him to pancreatic cancer in 2015, and just had a ball working with him. We grew the company and have grown it now to about $350 million in revenue.
How many employees, how many people are part of your team, across the spectrum of what you do?
So we've got about 800 full-time employees and anywhere from 100 to 1,000 variable hour employees, depending on what the workload does. And we employ engineers to 3D designers, fitters, welders, boilermakers, all the way to project managers and a whole lot of other jobs in between.
You and I were talking before we started taping today, and we had Congressman Garrett Graves on the show a couple of weeks ago, and actually had this conversation with Ben Bordelon of Bollinger Shipyards in our last show last week as well. But there's something about the productivity of the Louisiana workforce. And I know you see it in Sinlai as well, and of course everywhere that you do business. But it is really critically important to the success of any business and the culture of that business. Talk about your team a little bit and how they work, and maybe some of the things you're most proud of when you think about those team members.
Yeah, so we got our start in Central Louisiana, and pretty soon we were serving the broader U.S. And so we adopted. We're a learning culture. We're a learning company, a learning organization, and we got that way by necessity. We don't have a lot of high tech. We don't have a lot of manufacturing in Central Louisiana, but what we do have is good, honest, hardworking, smart people. And so we kind of just pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. We learned to develop people and give them big tasks at a young age and help them grow, get behind them and support them. That's how we got where we are. And we want to take the culture and the mindset and bring that to the industrial services business.
It is always, I believe, one of the most rewarding things from a leader's perspective to see people develop. Now, you mentioned that you came back to the company in 1990 to work with your father, who had founded the company. Talk about your path a little bit, your education, your background, and what led you back to Crest Industries.
Sure. Yes, I grew up in Central Louisiana, went to public school. I started my first business when I was 6 years old. My brother and I sold dog bones door to door down the street in our neighborhood to our neighbors. Actually, profitable business. We had real low cost, operation. But I went to LSU and got 2 engineering degrees, one in electrical and one in mechanical engineering, and then went to the University of Texas and got an MBA. Went to work for GE in Schenectady, New York. Big culture shock, big weather shock for sure. But I worked in their power generation business unit. Then came back in 1990 and joined the family company. And our philosophy in the family and the company is you don't get a free ride just because you're family. You start on the ground floor.
Earn it like everybody else.
You got to earn it. That's right, just like everybody else. We're a family business, but we reinvest our earnings in the business. The family doesn't take the earnings out and go play with the money. My brother and I both draw a salary from the business. We're on incentive plans just like all of our execs, and we want to grow the business.
What do you think, Kenny, is both the most challenging part of your job and the most rewarding part of your job?
When I started, I had a mission to start up a company called IPDevco. It was a venture into the independent power generation space, and it didn't work. It failed, but I learned. And then I started up Distrans Steel Pole, which is now our flagship company. Started up CNR, Crest Natural Resources, which is our timber company. And so I did a lot of engineering, project management, you wear a lot of hats when you're starting up a company. And about 2013, I realized we can't scale the company to our potential if the guy at the top is the entrepreneur doing all the startup. And so I went to work. We started a program office. We hired Matt Purser, we hired Dennis Wimmert, we hired Carol Hendricks, and several other great folks, and started building a team. And my idea was, I've got to push this into the organization. I've got to create a team that can do the entrepreneur piece, that can be entrepreneurial, can start up product families and new business units.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. I want you to build on that thought a little bit, and I want to get into more specifics about the products and the things that you guys produce. We're visiting with Kenny Robison. He's the CEO and owner of Crest Industries, and you're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Since 1919, we've designed and constructed hundreds of industrial plants, roads, ships, dams, and executed some of the most complex jobs in the world. In fact, our quality and dependability are legendary. Today, the legend continues as Brown & Root delivers engineering, construction, maintenance, and industrial specialty services throughout the U.S. and the world from our headquarters here in Louisiana. We are Brown & Root.
We are united in battle to defeat a microscopic enemy. Manufacturing chemicals that safeguard lives. Refining essential fuels. Delivering in a world of uncertainty. Our creative energy is the force helping to keep families, the community, and each other safe. Together, we are Shell, the rhythm of Louisiana.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging time.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
We're right there with you. Gulf Coast Bank is invested in technology with a local touch, a smart way to manage your money and your time. With our mobile banking app, you can make deposits, check balances, transfer money, pay bills, and more. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you. Member FDIC. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Kenny Robison, who is CEO and owner of Crest Industries, is our guest. The first segment, Kenny, you talked a little bit about what Crest does, and you focused on the substation, the electrical distribution, but there's more to Crest. You've got some other services and some other divisions. Talk a little bit about the big picture of the services you offer.
Sure. Well, we go to market in 8 different operating companies today. They're vertically integrated, and we're in 4 different platforms. So our first platform, the flagship, is our electric power delivery platform. We call it EPD. We've been building substations and everything in them for over 50 years in all 50 states, a little bit internationally. And when I say vertically integrated, what I mean is Beta Engineering, for example, if they're going to build a substation in California through rocky terrain, real challenging work, they're likely to buy the package substation from Distran Package Substations. Distran Package Substations will buy most of their steel from Distran Steel. And then Distran Steel they'll get their steel galvanized at Millennium Galvanizing, all sister companies. Each of them goes to market independently, but they also buy and sell to and from each other.
And allows you to provide really a turnkey service.
That's right,
Yeah.
That's right. Nobody else in the world structured that way. Our industrial services platform today consists of optimal field services, and we perform turnaround services, catalyst handling, specialty welding, and capital projects for the petrochemical industry and the refinery industry. And turnarounds, as you probably know, petrochemical plants and refineries will run for about 4 years, and stuff is breaking steadily, and so they'll kind of save it all up. And
sort of
then,
the maintenance, right?
Yeah, shut down every 4 years and just fix everything. And so that's when we'll come in and help them fix everything.
You and I have had some discussions, and I know how passionate you are about your company's core values. And anytime I have a CEO on the show, I always like to ask them what they believe differentiates their company from their competition. And so you guys put a lot of thought into it. You put a lot of thought into the culture of your company. So let's spend the rest of this segment, Kenny, talking about that culture and differentiators and core values. Tell us about it.
Sure. So we're a purpose-driven organization. Our purpose is to improve people's lives. And we talk about our purpose in terms of 5 core values. You know, a lot of companies post their core values, and we do it for a specific reason. We want to push decision-making as far into the organization toward the front lines as we possibly can. We want to empower our front lines to make good decisions. And the core values give them kind of a direction, and I like to say wide boulevards and high curbs. And the curbs are, you know, we've got to live and operate within our core values. So our first core value is serve customers. And when we say serve customers, it's more than just a winning formula. Of course, we always want to exceed expectations, but we see every human being on the planet as a potential customer. And if we're improving their lives, they're going to pay us and improve our lives. And that's the way our capitalist system works, right? Voluntary exchange, we improve each other's lives, and it's almost like a trading system. So customer service is where it starts.
Challenging work?
Yeah, our second core value is challenging work. And, challenging work is, we like to say, deliver the impossible. The easy stuff we do day in and day out, it's the really complex stuff, the challenging stuff that makes us get up early and stay up late. We like hairy projects. Beta Engineering got a call, City of Anaheim, California needed to upgrade their grid in a urban, aesthetically sensitive area. And so we built the substation underground and built a park on top of it. And if you go visit, it's a nice park, you wouldn't even know there was a substation.
How about that?
So, you want to build a substation on the moon? Hey, I don't know what the answer is, but it's not no. That's the kind of project.
That's really challenging work, right?
That's right. That's what gets us going.
I like the third one. You say, question everything.
Yeah. That came from my dad and just the way he lived life. And so we codified it into kind of how our philosophy of business. That's how you find a better way. It starts with curiosity and, dig deep down to the roots. Understand how things work. Get curious about it. And there's another dimension of it. We like to say, check your ego at the door. We all have egos, but we need to be aware of our egos and not let them get in our way. And so no one in our organization, me included, is above question. We're in a technical field. Our products and services are critical. If you don't design them right, they fail, and people can get hurt. So it's important. We check, we double check, we triple check. It's just part of our culture to question each other, not disrespectfully, in a respectful way.
We got about a minute left, so let's hit the last two. Respect and dignity, and honesty and integrity, critical components to your business.
Absolutely. We say treat people like family with respect and dignity. It's more about how we treat each other and how we see people. It's all about people. This whole system, we're not a transactional company where, people are just a number and it's just about getting the work done. It's way more about who you are, and so that's respect and dignity. Then the last one, of course, is honesty and integrity.
Do the right thing.
That's it. It's tell the truth, do what you say you're going to do, and do the right thing.
It's a fascinating overview when you look inside how businesses become successful. And you guys have obviously been very successful. And when you think about those core values, you can understand why. Let's take a break. I want to come back. I want to talk a little bit about your solid foundation, innovation, your safety record. Talk a little bit about maybe how COVID-19 has impacted your business. We're visiting with Kenny Robison. He is the CEO and owner of Crest Industries, and you're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Baton Rouge, we know how to deal with hardship. Floods, hurricanes, illnesses, they've threatened our families, our livelihoods, our communities, and spirits. But we always find the energy to overcome it all, the energy to work together and help one another, the energy to pull ourselves into a brighter future. We're honored to be part of Baton Rouge. Together, we have the energy to move forward, and that's what we're going to do.
For more than 25 years, the TJC Group has been helping industry communicate and build relationships with communities, elected officials, and governmental agencies. We are the leading firm in the U.S. for the development, management, and facilitation of industry-based community advisory panels.
Whether you're building a new facility or you manage an existing business, let us put our community and governmental relations experience to work for you.
The TJC Group, facilitating solutions for business and industry.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Kenny Robison of Crest Industries is our guest. We spent a lot of time, Kenny, in the last segment talking about your company's core values, but you also talk about your solid foundation, innovation, the right people, and you talk about the fact when you bring those forces together, you get forward movement.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that came out of some work we did. We celebrated our 60th anniversary a couple of years ago, 2018, and did a lot of introspection about who we are, where we're going, how do we talk about that? And if you imagine three circles intersecting, that solid foundation is a lot of what I just talked about. The right people, you know, we invest a lot in our people. We want to develop our people. We want them to grow.
And they'll stay with you when you do that, right?
Absolutely.
That's how you keep the best people as well.
But not everybody is about that.
Right.
And so when we say the right people, we're talking about people who that's the kind of values that they share with us, and that's the kind of career that they want. And then you add innovation and that question everything mindset. When those three come together, you know, we looked at it on a board and saw where that intersection was. Yes, they make a forward movement, and it kind of made a nice little shape. And we were redoing our logo as part of the 60th anniversary, and it just popped out to our senior exec team. There's the new logo. Now it tells a story that's got some meaning to it.
It really is emblematic of how you manage your business on a day-to-day basis. But all of those things come together to give you forward movement. It allows you to retain the best and the brightest.
Right.
But it also speaks to an award-winning safety performance by your company. As I reviewed your website, I saw a lot about that. I know you're very proud of that as well. Talk about safety performance from Crest Industries.
Yeah, so definitely at Crest, we put the safety of our people as the primary thing. There's a safe way to do everything that we do, every step that we take. And there's no reason to put people in harm's way. We want everybody to go home injury-free so that they can get up the next morning and come back and do it all over again. Yeah, we've got an award-winning safety performance. Crest won the Raffles Insurance Award, the Gold Award, a couple of years ago. Distran had a perfect safety record from the National Safety Council, 5 years, no recordables. And then Optimal Field Services, a couple of years ago, hit the 1 million man-hour mark with zero lost time.
You know, because my business does so much work with the petrochemical industry, the refining industry, the industrial construction industry, I see how critically important safety performance is on a daily basis. It's important to your customers. It's important as a core value that you have. But good performance doesn't just happen. It's got to be a commitment from the top down and from the bottom up. And it's daily, and it's a focus. And this whole idea, and you said it, of your employees going home every day in at least as good a condition as they came to work, is critically important to a leader. And I know it's something you're very passionate about.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's something everybody's got to walk the talk. You can't just talk about it, you got to walk the talk. And so it starts at the top, and with me, it starts with our senior execs, and it goes down to every person in the organization.
Well, you think about this company headquartered in Central Louisiana doing work in so many places. Really, you know, I think about it, you may not, but I think about it really as a pretty well-kept secret sitting right there in Central Louisiana. And so congratulations to you guys for all of the accomplishment. Let's wrap up with a little, as we sit here taping on Tuesday, we just got past phase 2 relative to reopening the economy and COVID-19. let's take a minute to talk about how it's impacted your company and more importantly, how you've stayed productive through the last couple of months.
Sure. First, we're an essential business. We never closed our doors. And because of our safety culture, it was pretty easy to make decisions when this thing first hit. We immediately said, if you can work from home, go work from home. It was a little rocky for the first week transitioning from the office to people's homes. We had some bandwidth issues, but I couldn't be more proud of our people, and especially our IT people. They patiently work with every individual, including myself, trying to learn how to use Microsoft Teams and these new tools. We were able to transition, over 90% of our workforce to working from home, from the office. Our plants continued to come in, and we told them, look, if you don't feel comfortable coming in, if you got relatives that you need to take care of, they're at risk, or if you got kids that aren't in school and don't have daycare, we'll work with you. Almost all of them came in at our job sites and at our factories. Of course, we implemented all the standard protocols, taking temperatures as people come in. If you go talk to our folks on the plant floor, on the front lines, they would tell you, hey, this is just what we do.
Yeah.
It's just another day, another challenge.
It's all part of those core values that the company lives by and that you preach, and I think that's probably really why you're able to get through that.
Keep them safe.
We got 10 seconds left. What's on the horizon for Crest Industries?
Tim, our vision is to build a 1,000-year company. We want to build our culture so strong and so resonant with what it is to be a human being that no matter what technology does, no matter what challenges come our way, our culture will thrive and improve people's lives for 1,000 years.
We look forward to continuing to watch Crest Industries and what you do. I'm grateful for your support of this program and helping us go statewide. Keep up the good work, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me, Tim, and thanks for doing this program.
You bet.
It's a great idea.
That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next week at this very same time for another edition of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.